Alright, so I'm going to do a video on the transformation of functions, but in particular, I want to do a phase shift, and um, actually I'm going to do a couple things. One, if it's a negated function, it's going to be the cosine curve, but it's going to reflect it in the y-axis, x-axis rather. Sorry. I did want to point that out. I'm actually not going to do it with this example, but I just do want to point out that if it's negative in front, you will flip it over the x-axis. I also did a nifty video which was nearly 11 minutes long, so I do apologize about that. And in it, I explained what this all is, and I kind of hope that you'll go back, pause the video after you get the explanation, and copy down, if nothing else, at least what I like to call the dragon and these two special right angle triangles. Once you do that, and you want to figure out what this all is, you can watch that video again, and you'll see that the amplitude here is 1, the frequency is 1/2, the period is going to be 2 pi over 1/2, over 1/2, which is really 4 pi. And so what I said before was, once you know the period is 4, and I don't have a vertical shift because it's really plus 0. Once you know that your frequency or your period is 4 pi, in order to find the critical values, what I call my critical values, my max value, my min value, and my intercepts, I start at 0, and I divide 4 pi by 4, and I get pi, and then I count 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and those are going to correspond to here. So that means I get one full oscillation by the time I get to 4 pi, and that kind of makes sense because the frequency is half, so it's only going to get halfway by the time I get to 2 pi. And you can see halfway here would be something like it'd be something like this. However, that's not what's actually happening here, because I have this pi over 6. Now, you'll remember a long time ago when you did transformation of functions, when you add to the x value, you're actually having a shift to the left. So really, I'm going to take pi, and I'm going to subtract pi over 6, and that'll give us a new value. So if this was 6 pi over 6, it'd be 5 pi over 6.
Daddy?
Yes, Benjamin. So a guess appearance from my son, 5 pi over 6. And so I'm actually going to erase this. Yes, after this you may draw something.
Yay!
If I have 2 pi over 6, I'm sorry, if I had 2 pi, and if I had 2 pi minus pi over 6, that would become 12 pi over 6, which gives me 11 pi over 6. And I'm going to erase this. You might hear my son being super excited. If I do 3 pi minus pi over 6, I'm going to get, that's going to be 18 pi over 6. I'm going to get 17 pi over 6. Oops. 17 pi over 6. And if I do one last one, which is going to be 4 pi, oops. If I do 4 pi over 6, let's see, 4 pi over 6 minus pi over, goodness me, 4 pi minus pi over 6, that's going to become 24 pi over 6, which gives me 23 pi over 6. And I certainly hope that's right. I have been a tad bit distracted. But there is one more. I actually have to do 0 minus pi over 6, so I get negative pi over 6. And once again, if you go back to this picture, you might actually see some common themes here. I certainly hope I'm right. So let's say if I am 5, 11, 17, and 23. 5, 11, 17, and 23. So that's kind of interesting. Now, I'm ready to graph. Let's see. Cosine usually starts at +1. My amplitude is 1. My vertical shift is non-existent. So there's the first one. It'll hit 5 pi over 6 down there. Down here is going to be my minimum value, -1 at 17 pi over 6, at 23 pi over 6. And it's funny because, well, I shouldn't really toot my own horn, because this is kind of ugly down here. It should be more like that, I'd say. I was going to say it's funny because I can't draw a straight line, but my curves come out pretty nice. So this is y equals cosine of 1/2 x plus pi over 6. And like I said, if this had been negated, it would have been something like, well, I don't know. If it had been negated, it would look something like this. And I'll just do it with the. It looks something like that. Anyway, that's it. This is a confusing topic. Remember, if you're going to have cosine of x minus like pi over 4, then it would be a shift to the right pi over 4 units. I hope this video helps. It is confusing. It is a hard topic. Watch it again if you need. Go back to the dragon and watch that last video, the first video I made. It's almost 11 minutes long, but it's well worth the watch.